My child, listen carefully. You were not meant to see this by accident. This moment, right now, was chosen for you long before you even realized you needed it. Out of all the noise, all the distractions, all the endless scrolling, your eyes stop here. That was not random. That was not coincidence. Something deeper is at work, and it has been guiding you to this very second. You may not fully understand why you feel this sudden pull, why your heart feels slightly heavier or quieter as you read these words, but that feeling is not something to ignore. It is a signal. It is a calling. And you were chosen to hear this message because something in your life is about to shift. Do not brush this off. Do not tell yourself you will come back later. This is one of those moments that only comes once in a while, a moment where everything aligns just enough for you to finally hear what your soul has been missing. And if you walk away now, you may miss what was specifically meant to reach you. I have been trying to get your attention in ways you didn't even recognize. In your quiet moments, in your restless nights, and the thoughts you couldn't explain, I was there. And still, you kept moving, pushing forward, trying to carry everything on your own. But this time is different. This time, I needed you to stop. I needed you to listen. Because something is coming, my child. Something you have been praying for, something you almost gave up on, something that requires you to be ready in a way you are not yet prepared for. That is why this message found you now. You were chosen not because you are perfect, not because you have everything figured out, but because your heart, even in its pain, is still open enough to receive what others would ignore. There is a reason you are still here, reading this, feeling this, and that reason is greater than you can currently see. This moment matters more than you think. And what you are about to hear next could change everything if you allow it to reach you. Stay here. Do not look away. Stop right there, my child. Do not scroll away. Not this time. I need you to pause everything around you, even if just for a moment. The noise, the distractions, the thoughts pulling you in different directions, let them wait. Because what is happening right now is more important than you realize. This is not just another message passing through your day. This is not something you can casually skip and come back to later. You must stay. I am speaking directly to you, and I need your full attention. You may feel the urge to leave, to tell yourself you will return when you have more time, when you feel more ready, when life is less overwhelming. But listen carefully, that is how you have missed moments like this before. That quiet hesitation, that small delay, that voice telling you later, it has already cost you things you were meant to receive. Do not let it happen again. This moment was not placed in your path by chance. It was aligned with precision, with intention, with purpose. Every second that led you here was arranged so that you would encounter these words at exactly the right time. And if you turn away now, you are not just leaving a message, you are stepping away from something your spirit has been waiting for. Stay with me. I know your mind may still be racing. I know there are responsibilities calling you, worries sitting heavy on your chest, thoughts that refuse to quiet down. But right now, none of that matters more than this. Because this moment is about you, your heart, your path, your next step. Do not underestimate how important this is. There are times in life when everything slows down for a reason. Times when something greater steps in and asks for your attention. This is one of those times. And if you ignore it, if you treat it like everything else, you risk missing something that was meant to guide you, protect you, and prepare you for what is ahead. Yes, what is ahead. Because you are not standing in an ordinary moment. You are standing at the edge of something that requires you to be present, aware, and willing to listen. And if you rush past this, if you treat it lightly, you may find yourself unprepared for what is coming next. So I'm asking you again, no, I am telling you, stay. Do not scroll. Do not switch away. Do not let your attention drift. Give me this moment, fully and completely. Let your guard down, just enough to hear what needs to be said. You do not need to have everything figured out. You do not need to feel strong. You only need to be here, right now. Because this message is not here to entertain you. It is here to reach you, to stop you in your tracks before you continue down the same path without understanding what has been unfolding around you. You have been moving quickly, my child, too quickly, carrying weight without stopping, making decisions without clarity, pushing forward without fully understanding what your heart has been trying to tell you. And that is why this moment had to interrupt you. This is your interruption, a necessary one. Not to confuse you, but to wake you. Not to overwhelm you, but to steady you. Not to hold you back, but to redirect you before it is too late to adjust your steps. Because once you leave this moment, things will continue moving. Life will not pause for you to catch up later. Opportunities, realizations, shifts, they do not always wait. And that is why you cannot afford to treat this lightly. There is something here for you. Something meant specifically for you to hear, to feel, to recognize. And if you truly stay and listen, you will begin to understand why you were chosen to encounter this right now. My child, I see what you have been carrying, even the things you have never spoken out loud. I see the exhaustion in you. Not just the kind that sleep can fix, but the kind that lives deep within your spirit, the kind that lingers no matter how much you try to rest. You wake up with it, you move through your day with it, and at night, when everything becomes quiet, it feels even heavier. Your mind does not stop. It keeps circling the same thoughts, the same worries, the same unanswered questions, and you have been holding all of that inside. You have been strong for longer than you should have been. I know the confusion that has surrounded you. The moments where you stood still, unsure of what to do next, where every path felt uncertain, and every decision carried weight. You have questioned yourself more than you admit. You have wondered if you are moving forward or simply trying to survive each day. And in those moments, even when people were near you, you still felt alone. Yes, I saw that. I saw the nights when you stayed silent, when your thoughts grew louder than your voice. The times you stared into nothing, feeling everything all at once yet unable to explain any of it. The moments you smiled in front of others, pretending everything was fine while something inside you was quietly breaking apart. You have been carrying pain that no one fully understands. Pain from things that did not unfold the way you hoped. From people who did not stay the way you needed them to. From words that stayed with you longer than they should have. From silence where you were waiting for answers that never came. And slowly, without you even noticing, that pain began to settle deep within you. You kept telling yourself to move forward. You kept telling yourself to stay strong. You kept telling yourself it would pass. But deep inside you were getting tired. There were moments when you felt forgotten. Moments when you questioned if anyone truly saw you, if anyone truly understood what you were going through. You questioned your worth. You questioned your direction. You questioned whether things would ever truly change. And that loneliness, it stayed. Even when you were surrounded by others. Even in conversations. Even in places filled with noise, there was a part of you that felt distant, like you were carrying something invisible that no one else could reach. I know how heavy that feels. I know what it is like to hold everything inside because you do not want to burden anyone. To hide your emotions because you have grown used to handling everything alone. To keep showing up for others while quietly feeling like you are running out of strength within yourself. You have been giving so much without being refilled. And that emptiness you feel, that quiet ache, that sense that something is missing, it is not weakness. It is not failure. It is a sign that you were never meant to carry all of this alone. But somewhere along the way, you started believing that you had to. You started believing that asking for help would change how others see you, that slowing down would cause you to fall behind, that showing your pain would make you vulnerable in ways you could not afford. So you kept going even when everything inside you was asking for rest. My child, I saw every moment of that, every silent tear, every hidden fear, every time you pushed yourself beyond what you could carry. And I need you to understand this: you were never unseen. Even in your lowest moments, even when you felt completely alone, you were seen. You were known. You were understood in ways deeper than you realize. This is why your heart has been brought to this moment. My child, the pain you have carried, it was never meaningless. I know there were moments when you questioned everything. Moments when you looked at your life and wondered why things had to unfold the way they did. Why certain doors closed without warning. Why people you trusted walked away. Why opportunities slipped through your hands just when you thought they were finally yours. It felt confusing. It felt unfair. And at times, it felt like everything was working against you. It felt like loss. It felt like rejection. It felt like you were being left behind. But what you could not see then was what I was protecting you from. The delay you grew frustrated with, the one that made you feel stuck while others seemed to move ahead. It was not punishment. It was protection. You were being held back from something that looked right on the surface but carried a weight your spirit was not meant to carry. You saw it as a missed opportunity, but I saw the hidden cost attached to it. I saw how it would have drained your peace, confused your direction, and taken more from you than it could ever give. And that door that closed so suddenly, the one that left you replaying everything in your mind, it was not taken from you to hurt you. It was removed because it was never meant to hold your future. You were trying to walk into something that could not sustain who you are becoming. If it had opened, it would have led you into a path that slowly pulled you away from your purpose. My child, not every closed door is a loss. Some are rescue even when they do not feel like it in the moment. And the people who left your life, the ones you held on to, the ones you believed would stay, when they walked away, it felt like something inside you broke. You questioned your worth. You wondered what you did wrong. You searched for answers in silence. But their leaving was not a reflection of your value. It was a redirection. Some people were only meant to walk with you for a season, not for your entire journey. And if they had stayed longer than they were meant to, they would have delayed your growth, clouded your judgment, and kept you attached to a version of life that was not aligned with where you are being led. I removed what could not go with you, even when it hurt you to let it go. Even the heartbreak you experienced, the kind that left you feeling empty, the kind that made you question if you could ever trust again. That pain was not there to destroy you. It was there to awaken something within you. It revealed what you were settling for. It showed you patterns you could not see before. It forced you to confront truths you had been avoiding. It forced you to feel. It forced you to slow down. It forced you to look within. And through that breaking, something in you began to change in ways you did not immediately recognize. You became more aware of what drains you and what gives you peace. You became more careful with who you allow into your space. You became more aligned with what your spirit truly needs, even if your mind is still catching up. You may not have noticed it at the time, but you were being shaped. Every disappointment, every delay, every moment where things did not go as planned, none of it was wasted. It was all part of a process that was quietly forming a stronger, clearer, more grounded version of you. A version of you that can stand in what is coming without falling apart. You were being redirected, not rejected. There were paths you wanted so badly to walk down, but they were not leading where you believed they would. There were outcomes you were hoping for, but they would have taken you further away from yourself. And there were moments where everything fell apart, not to harm you, but to realign you. Because where you are going requires a different version of you. A version that sees clearly. A version that chooses wisely. A version that no longer ignores what your spirit is trying to tell you. And that version of you could not exist without everything you have been through. My child, even your confusion had purpose. Even your waiting had meaning. Even your pain was shaping something far greater than you can fully understand right now. Nothing you experienced was random, and nothing was wasted. It was all preparation, preparing you for a moment like this, where everything begins to make sense in a way it never has before. My child, listen carefully now, because this is where everything begins to shift. You have felt it, haven't you? That quiet pressure building inside you, that sense that something is changing, even if you cannot explain it. The days have felt heavy. The nights have felt longer. Your thoughts have been louder, more persistent, more urgent. You have tried to ignore it, to push through it, to distract yourself from it, but it has not gone away. That is because something is moving. Something is approaching your life that requires your attention, your awareness, and your readiness. This is not a small moment. This is not something you can casually pass by and expect to return to later. Time is not as open as you think it is. Moments like this, they do not wait forever. And that is why you cannot afford to ignore what is happening right now. My child, there is a difference between being busy and being unaware. You have been moving quickly, filling your days, handling responsibilities, trying to keep everything together, but in doing so, you have almost missed the deeper shifts happening around you. You have been so focused on surviving that you nearly overlooked the signs that something greater is unfolding. This is your warning. Not a warning to frighten you, but a warning to wake you. Because if you continue moving the way you have been, distracted, overwhelmed, emotionally drained, you will not be ready for what is coming next. And what is coming next requires clarity. It requires presence. It requires you to be aligned in a way you have not been for a long time. Something is coming, my child. Something you have prayed for. Something you have waited for. Something that has been delayed but not denied. But here is what you must understand: just because something is coming does not mean you will automatically receive it the way it is meant for you. If your heart is closed, you may miss it. If your mind is distracted, you may overlook it. If your spirit is unaligned, you may not recognize it. And that is why this moment matters so much. You cannot keep drifting the way you have been. You cannot keep pushing aside what you feel, ignoring what your spirit is trying to show you, or delaying the moments that are meant to prepare you. Because the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to recognize what is right in front of you. You have already delayed enough. You have already told yourself later too many times. You have already walked past moments that were meant to guide you. This is not one of those moments you can afford to lose. Feel the urgency in this, not as pressure, but as truth. There is a shift happening around you. Situations are aligning. Paths are opening and closing. Things are being rearranged in ways you cannot yet fully see. And while all of this is happening, you are being called to step into awareness. To stop moving unconsciously. To stop ignoring what you feel. To stop delaying what you know deep inside needs your attention. Because once this shift fully arrives, things will move quickly. Faster than you expect. Faster than you feel ready for. And if you are not prepared, you will find yourself overwhelmed instead of aligned. Confused instead of clear. Reactive instead of ready. That is not what is meant for you. You are meant to step into what is coming with understanding, with steadiness, with a sense of direction, that you have not felt in a long time, but that requires you to take this moment seriously. This is not just a message, it is a turning signal, a moment where everything slows down just enough for you to recognize that you cannot continue the same way anymore, that something within you must shift before everything around you does. Do not ignore this. Do not treat this like every other passing thought or temporary feeling. This is deeper than that. This is the kind of moment that quietly determines what happens next in your life, depending on whether you listen or whether you turn away again. My child, you are being called right now, and this call is not something you can afford to miss. My child, this moment right now carries a weight that is different from anything you have felt before. This is not just another passing second in your day. This is not just another message you happen to come across. This is not something ordinary. This is your turning point. You may not fully understand it yet, but something within you recognizes that this moment feels different. There is a stillness around you that is not normal. There is a quiet pull in your spirit that you cannot easily explain. It is as if everything inside you has slowed down just enough to notice that something important is happening right now. That feeling is not accidental. It is alignment. Everything you have been through, every delay, every heartbreak, every moment of confusion and exhaustion, it has all been leading you here. Not to keep you stuck in the past, but to position you for what is about to unfold next. You have walked through seasons where nothing made sense, where you felt like you were moving without direction, where you questioned whether you were even on the right path. But this moment is where clarity begins. You are no longer in the same place you once were. Even if your surroundings look the same, even if your life has not visibly changed yet, something inside you has already shifted. The way you feel things is different. The way you respond to certain situations is changing. The things you used to tolerate now feel heavier. The things you used to chase no longer satisfy you in the same way. That is not confusion, my child. That is transformation beginning. You are stepping out of who you used to be and into who you are meant to become. And this moment is the bridge between those two versions of you. You cannot go back to the version of yourself that ignored what your heart was feeling. You cannot return to the patterns that drained you, the choices that left you confused, the cycles that kept repeating because you were not yet aware. That version of you has already begun to fade, even if part of you is still holding onto it out of habit. This is where you must release it, because what is ahead of you cannot be received by the version of you that keeps doubting, avoiding, and settling. What is ahead requires awareness. It requires honesty. It requires you to finally listen to what your spirit has been trying to tell you for so long. My child, this is why everything feels more intense right now. The emotions, the thoughts, the questions, they are not here to overwhelm you. They are here to wake you. You are being pulled into a higher level of awareness, where you can no longer ignore what is right in front of you, where you can no longer pretend that everything is fine when it is not, where you can no longer keep choosing what feels familiar over what is actually right for you. This moment is asking something from you. Not perfection, not strength beyond your limits, but presence. It is asking you to be fully here, fully aware, fully honest with yourself about what you feel, what you know, and what you can no longer continue to ignore. Because this is where direction changes. This is where you stop drifting and start choosing. This is where you stop reacting and start understanding. This is where you stop running and finally stand still long enough to see clearly. You have been searching for answers, my child, but answers do not come when you are constantly moving. They come in moments like this, when everything slows down just enough for truth to reach you. And truth is reaching you now. You may not have all the answers yet. You may not fully see what is ahead. but you are being shown enough to recognize that something must change, that something is already changing, and that you are standing at the exact point where your next step will shape everything that follows. This is not just a moment. This is a decision point. A moment where you either continue the same way or you choose to move differently. A moment where you either ignore what you feel or you finally trust it. A moment where you either fall back into old patterns or step forward into something new. My child, you were brought here because you are ready, even if part of you feels uncertain. Ready to see clearly. Ready to feel deeply. Ready to step into alignment with what has been waiting for you. And whether you fully realize it yet or not, everything begins to change from here. My child, hear me clearly now, because what you have been waiting for is not as far as you think. Everything you have carried, everything you have endured, it has not been leading you in circles. It has been leading you here to the edge of your breakthrough. You may not see it yet with your eyes, but your spirit can feel it. Something is opening. Something is shifting. Something that once felt blocked is beginning to move in your favor. This is not the end of your story. This is where it begins to change. The weight you have been carrying, it will not stay on you forever. The confusion that has surrounded you, it will not follow you into what is next. The loneliness you have felt, it is not where you are meant to remain. I am already working in ways you cannot see, aligning things you cannot yet understand, preparing what your heart has been quietly asking for. Your breakthrough is not just possible, it is already in motion. But you must believe this, not with doubt, not with hesitation, but with a willingness to trust that what is coming is greater than what you have been through. You have spent so much time expecting disappointment, preparing yourself for things to go wrong, guarding your heart because you did not want to feel that pain again. But what is ahead of you cannot be received through fear. It cannot be fully experienced if you are still holding on to the belief that things will always fall apart. My child, you are not where you used to be. You are closer than you realize. Closer to peace. Closer to clarity. Closer to the answers you have been searching for. And this is the moment where you must shift from doubt into belief. Not because everything is perfect, but because something inside you knows that change is already happening. I am restoring what felt lost. Not always in the same form, but in a way that is better aligned with who you are becoming. What you thought was taken from you, what you believed you missed, what you assumed was gone forever, it is being replaced with something that carries more peace, more stability, and more truth than what you held on to before. Healing is already beginning within you. Even now as you read this, something in your heart is softening. The heaviness is not as sharp as it was before. The confusion is starting to clear, even if just slightly. That is not your imagination. That is the beginning of your shift. And this shift, it will continue. But you must respond to it. You must not go back to ignoring what you feel. You must not return to the patterns that kept you stuck. You must not silence the part of you that is finally starting to wake up. This is where your response matters. Not tomorrow, not later, but now. Acknowledge this moment. Accept that something is changing within you. Accept that you are being guided towards something better. Accept that you are no longer meant to stay in the same place mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. Say it within yourself or say it out loud if you need to. I am ready. I believe something is shifting for me. I'm open to what is coming. And if you truly feel this, if something inside you is agreeing with these words, then let it be known. Comment Amen if you believe that your life is turning in a new direction. Comment I believe if you are ready to receive what is meant for you. Type yes if you are choosing to step into alignment instead of staying where you have been. This is not just interaction. This is your declaration. A moment where you stop being passive and begin to actively step into what is already unfolding for you. Because, my child, your breakthrough is not waiting on time. It is waiting on your readiness. And that readiness begins with your decision to believe that something greater is already on its way to you. My child, do not ignore this moment. Do not walk away from this as if it was just another passing message, because it was not. This was placed in your path for a reason. This was meant to reach you at the exact moment when your heart could finally hear what it has been missing. You have come too far to turn away now. Too many lessons, too many battles, too many silent nights where you questioned everything, all of it has brought you here. And if you walk away without receiving what this moment holds, you risk slipping back into the same patterns that left you feeling lost before. This is not about fear. This is about awareness. Because something has already started shifting within you, and if you ignore it now, you will feel that same emptiness return. That same confusion. That same sense of being disconnected from what you truly need. But if you stay aligned, if you stay aware, if you keep listening, you will begin to notice something different. A quiet peace, a clear mind, a stronger sense of direction. It will not happen all at once. It will unfold step by step, moment by moment. But it begins with your decision to not walk away from what you know is real. My child, you are not alone in this. You were never alone. Even in your silence, even in your doubt, even in the moments where you felt completely disconnected, I was there. And I am still here. Closer than you think. Closer than you have allowed yourself to believe. Do not close your heart again. Do not go back to ignoring what you feel. Because this is only the beginning. There is more that is about to unfold in your life. More clarity. More truth. More alignment. But it requires you to stay present, to stay open, to stay willing to listen even when it feels uncomfortable. Something is still coming, and you will begin to see it sooner than you expect. My child, as this message has reached your heart, so must it continue to reach others who are still lost in silence. Every seed you sow becomes a light in someone else's darkness, and as it is written, give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. When you choose to support this mission, you are not giving to a channel, you are opening rivers that carry healing into souls who are still searching. I am placing this desire in your heart right now, this quiet pull to help, to extend, to become part of something greater than yourself. The link for PayPal giving waits for you in the description, and the sign is already before your eyes in the QR code placed within each message. Do not delay what your spirit is being moved to do in this very moment, for obedience unlocks what hesitation delays. As you release your seed, I will multiply it back into your life in ways you cannot yet see, pouring favor, peace, and provision over you. Step into this act now, and become a vessel through which my word continues to reach the ones I am still calling.